Greetings. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the output from Quora SEO software to highlight how a website is deficient in its content tuning, basically illustrating why it's not ranking better, or at least part of the reason why it's not ranking better than it is. So let's look at an example. So I ran the software for the search term best SEO software, and I ran this in 2017, third month, third day. That's this timestamp. It's just a date, year, month, day. Let me adjust the window. All right, so if we go to the results tab, let's say hypothetically that my website is Backlinko, so SEO software company. It's not actually my company. This is just an example. I am not Backlinko. But if I were, I would wonder why for best SEO software, I'm number 13 and all these other guys are higher up. Well, let's go take a look. So we know that we're number 13. We found that on the results tab. Click over to the overview. Okay, and we see we have our data here. And what we can do is let's expand this page 1 average column. All right, and these other page averages, let's just go ahead and hide them. All right, and we see our number 1 result here. But let's take number 2 through number 12. And let's hide those. So we right click and hide. Alright. And we'll expand our result 13. So when we go over here, we're 13. So in the overview, we're looking at 13. These are our factor measurements. And this is number 1 for the keyword. And this is the average measures for a result on page 1. So we could take all these other measures, and there's a lot of them because we get it for the top 100 results, and we can just hide those. We could always unhide them if we need them, but let's just hide them for now. Okay, now you'll see we have our correlation coefficients, the Spearman's by page, Pearson's by page, best of both. Spearman's, Pearson's first, is really good at correlating things that tend to trend in straight lines. Spearman's is much better at identifying things that trend in curves. We don't know if from one factor to the next if it's going to trend in a straight line or if it's going to trend in a curve. We do know that Google is fond of its logarithmic scales, so we know there's bound to be some curves in there. So we take both, we give you both. We don't want to say what's best or not. There's lots of debates online about that. But we also give you a best of both. So we assume whichever one ranks the highest probably found something worth looking at. So we have best of both. So since we have that best of both column, we can hide the Spearmans and the Pearsons. And this is by page, so the average value by page. And over here, we also have Spearman's, Pearson's, and best of both as well, but this is across all 100 top results. So we can hide those as well and keep the best of both. So we have the best of both across the whole result set for each result, and we have the best of both correlated by average value per page. And you can see that they get slightly different things. And so that's why we do it this way, because you get some things in one and other things by the other, and they might both be important. We'll let you decide, but we do it both ways. So now we have our recommendation, which always starts with the correlation strength. And so what I often like to do is to go below where everything doesn't correlate, and we'll start hiding rows. So we select them and we hide. And let's see, we go down here. Okay. And we don't need these ones at the bottom because we're not looking for anti-factors. We're looking for actual factors. And we say hide. Okay, so now we have this other data, and we can go and hide this stuff too because we don't need it at the moment. And now we have a very simple data set that we can look at. So we have all the things that appeared to matter all in one little view. We have the page one average. We have the values for the number one listing, and we have our website's values. So now we can go through and label all the ones that we found we were deficient at. Let's find suitable color. And we will make them a bit lighter. Okay, we'll make them pink. So anytime we're less than either the number one value or the page one average, we are going to highlight it. And by doing this, we're just pointing out all the places where our factor measurements were deficient. So we can figure out what we need to do to get competitive parity. Okay, so now that we know which ones we're deficient in, we can hide the rest again. So we go in and we hide. And that one we don't need because we're good. We hide. And that one we don't need because we're good, so we hide it. These three. These two. And we just whittle away at that gigantic matrix of data until we get to something that's very, very actionable. This is how you make this bulk of data very consumable. Because now we can see that, okay, we have our strongest correlation, microdata feature, number of social pages integrated. Plus ones. There's an interesting one. We needed more plus ones. Phone number on page appears to matter. Different types of matches. Meta description is missing. So we have action items here. We can actually go and fix these things. We know the degree of tuning that we need. So we know that we need 700 more plus ones to meet the page one average. Didn't need it for the number one result. Maybe we lower that in priority. But we could look down here and say that, geez, we need to have a meta description. So that might be worth doing. Um, no email address, no contact info. And for this keyword, maybe that's something that we need to have. But in any regard, this is how you can narrow down to where a specific website is deficient in on-page tuning compared to the page one average and the number one result. And by doing this, it gives you exactly what you need to do to take action and to tune a page to have competitive parity. Thank you.